Hello friends, welcome to the Practical Arbitrage channel. Today we'll be going over the continuation of our launch in LATAM, specifically focusing on two GEOs, Colombia and Argentina. Many people had questions about Argentina, particularly about the CPM there. We'll break all of that down for you and show you everything. And we'll also show you how well Colombia is performing right now. These are two GEOs in our PP Penetra with our Bane that are performing incredibly well with great ROIs. These are the GEOs you should be entering right now, where you can deliver slot level quality. Where can you really achieve top results and essentially crush it? And also, in this video, we'll definitely touch on push notifications finally. Push notifications are a pain point for many of you, and a lot of people don't work with them. And right now, I'd also like to announce that when EC Milk, as one of the in-app sets, dropped, I think everyone has read this news. There are now two extremely powerful sources left that are performing insanely well. Those are TikTok and Facebook. We're using 4 accounts. On the first account, we're only running Colombia. Yes, the only thing is here the asset got duplicated. Let me rename it. Always, friends, track everything so that everything is as accurate as possible. The first campaign is going live. It starts at the beginning of the new day, so it's about to start now. Next. Here we have 2 campaigns. One for Argentina and one for Colombia. At launch, the budget is set everywhere. One CPA bid has been set. Let's go ahead and publish the other one for Colombia as well. You can already see the results. Overall, LATAM is currently performing at its best. So friends, you can find all the products we have in our Monetro affiliate program. I recommend checking it out and taking a look. Now we'll also publish all the campaigns since a new day has already started for us. Here I skipped the account, didn't have time to upload everything. And also, yes, I've prepared 2 more campaigns for Argentina and Colombia, so it's basically full LATAM. What I'd also like to go over here is to look at that CPM you complain about, saying, oh, how do they have such a CPM? Friends, try different creatives, experiment with different approaches, and use a good and reliable service. In Colombia, many will say, yeah, what kind of result is that? Let's refresh it. Otherwise, everyone will start saying, oh wow, how is that possible? Where do these results come from? That's it, friends. Everything is being revealed right before your eyes. Let's watch as our campaigns are published, and we'll manage them together. Over the course of Saturday and Sunday and into Monday morning, I'll be showing and summarizing the results we're getting from the launches, and we'll go through everything together here. Again, these creatives are purely, friends, from Tiver, that is, from Spy Service. These creatives are in fact handmade over there. We are currently preparing a bot that will generate UGCs for you based on prompts using AI models. Plus, right now in ADS, we actually managed to do it in time with you. Yes, MCP has been implemented in ADS Pro, and soon cost pooling will be added. That's actually why I didn't record the moment of publishing the campaign, or rather creating it manually, yes, because we discussed it with the team. Costs will soon be pulled in automatically. Just imagine, you'll have costs pulled in for each campaign, and you'll be able to break them down by account ID. But I'll show you some sample models to demonstrate how this works. So WC Pro has already been released, yes, and cost pooling is done through the API of expense tokens. What will this give you as a result? In the end, this will provide you with excellent, transparent analytics, showing which campaign to scale, what to do with it, and how to proceed. Moreover, you can see that we notice such nuances. There are also certain AI tools available, but we'll talk about that a bit later. Actually, our campaigns are already under review here, and we'll be waiting for approval and moderation. Overall, everything is being published. Once they pass moderation, let's move them here. The 3rd and 4th accounts, just for analytics. That's what we've set up so far. And as for scaling, we'll keep monitoring the reviews. Yes, I'll immediately put everything back to work here because Facebook has a small bug when publishing. And here as well, yes, our 2 campaigns are scheduled. That's it, the first campaign has already gone through, yes, friends. Here's the second price as well. Let's turn it on. We'll watch how it performs. Everything is great. We'll keep monitoring, watching the metrics, managing the campaign together, handling the details, and making sure the technical aspects and analytics are set up correctly. In general, as of now, in the current realities, we're not working with FB yet, but I'll bring it up today since we have a meeting about TikTok with our team. We'll also be launching a mentoring product for TikTok, and so friends, it's 3 o'clock, the 30th of the month. Here we'll do a brief segment with you regarding the ad accounts. Honestly, I haven't checked it myself yet. I've only seen notifications coming in on Telegram, right? So we're loading it up and watching everything as it happens right before your eyes. Let's just go ahead and do it, all right? you'll basically see those campaigns, and there are others being added for various reasons as well. GEO Mozambique, and as you can see, there's Ghana, then Colombia. So basically, yes, there's only one campaign running in this account for now. I'd like to point out, friends, take a look at how Colombia is performing on new sites and also in a number of other geos. Overall, if you look at it, it's 93 with Panda and 458 in revenue for today. Well, you can do the math yourself. This just shows how well a number of geos are performing today, friends. What else would I like to touch on? The first campaign so far, I see only one account with you. There is one FTD. According to the metrics, as you can see, Facebook itself has distributed and is now giving the maximum to one ad set. Into one internal ad, yes, we'll burn through the creative a bit there, basically, if only one creative is being used. Everything has been approved for us, by the way, friends, yes, but for now, everything is running within this range. I won't touch anything else, let it run. There's no need to interfere here for now. Don't turn it off, don't stop it. Everything is as correct as possible. Here we have two ads inside. One of them immediately started performing as a favorite according to the metrics. Deposits started coming in, let it be. Facebook distributes the budget itself. Ideally, later on you can hear. Let's refresh the page. We got logged out a bit. Ideally, friends, you can scale everything here, but a bit later, after the first 24 hours of running. For now, we just launched what is currently showing results. I won't be giving any recommendations yet. Since that's one account, let's check another one and see what's going on with our other accounts. Here, not everything is ready yet. Not even the ad rotation. It hasn't started yet. We'll keep an eye on the other account. Yeah, neither of the campaigns has started yet. We can see the campaign there with Alexi, yes, basically. It's showing great results so far. The account is just starting to pick up speed. Here, we don't really have any spend yet. Yeah. We won't interfere for now. Yes, we have another campaign, friends. Here, I think. Apparently, let's see what's running here. Colombia, yes, here things are going a bit worse. By the way, I want to point out, just to draw attention, we even cranked up the budget here. We left it like that, so I think that's fine. Yes, we duplicated the campaign. So here we didn't start at $11.99, but rather it printed as $111.99 right away. Well, overall, in general, according to the metrics, it's going just like that. Yes, as you can see, well, maybe just a little bit more expensive. So I probably won't pause this campaign for now. I'll leave it running with these metrics for now. I've seen basically that the metrics are coming through there. So in short, we won't interfere with it. Argentina is also slowly starting to pick up for us, but it's barely starting to gain momentum here. We'll see how it performs going forward. I don't know, I wouldn't want to interfere here. Registrations are going well, results are coming, so we'll keep watching. That's what I wanted to show. So in this campaign we have... I'm just, friends, using a different social account, so it doesn't log out here, for my colleague. Right now our teams are being supported and managed there. This campaign, yes, look, has already received a second FTD with you. Let's check, maybe something else has come through. No, not yet. The second FTD for Colombia. By the way, Argentina as well, friends. Oh, it's going really nicely. The profit margin here is just out of this world, honestly. By the way, I just sent a screenshot to the chat. Who here is in our Telegram channel? Almost no one from arbitration is subscribed, friends. Make sure to subscribe. But overall, in general, I just wanted to show you something, right? Even in the total for this ad campaign, for everything. Please let me finish my complete thought. I just wanted to show what a great revenue is coming in. In this or that ad campaign, we have the value of the results. Revenue is $122. Here it's $19. You can calculate the margin yourself. There's an even nicer dashboard over there. But that's okay, that's not the point here. Where's that company? Yeah. So 2 FTDs, and look at how they perform according to the metrics. Just remember this. 19 cents per click, $1 per install, $2 per registration. And another neighboring dashboard. Another neighboring dashboard. Here, our budget is actually higher. Let's refresh. Maybe something else has come in. No. My budget is set at $111, yes. And what I wanted to draw your attention to. So here we have 2 identical campaigns, but look at how differently they perform according to the metrics. But here we already have 25 registrations and only 2 FTDs. And there, 2 registrations and 2 FTDs by conversion. That is in terms of segmentation, in terms of audience sample segmentation. That's why, friends, you should have a certain number of accounts. You need to switch between them, check and monitor them, because each account is different, and they all perform differently for you. Of course, you absolutely need to keep an eye on this, friends. And based on this, here's the point. The more accounts you have in your pool, even with just one working creative, you will always achieve results. Friends, we also signed another video with Lorem, yes. While we were signing here, I saw that something else just came through to this campaign as well. Thirdly, the metrics are already starting to even out overall. We'll just look at the number of registrations. Here we'll also have a solid, excellent conversion rate. Overall, that campaign is still roughly breaking even for now. But compared, for example, to that other campaign with sky-high ROIs, with a small budget, well, it actually looks pretty interesting, right? Here the number of registrations has already increased a bit, so if we look at the metrics, 88 cents, $1.32, and here it's about up to $1. Also, friends. But in terms of deposits, as a new campaign with an increased budget, not that it was launched with a huge budget, it performs worse in deposits. So what I'm getting at, friends, is that at the start, always launch with a single bid. So here, this is the benchmark. When I was setting up the campaign for you this morning, I made a few typos, rushed a bit, yeah. By the way, all right, the third one went there, that's correct. I was going to say another one dropped. Based on this, once again, my recommendation is to start with a small budget at the beginning. By the way, the other account started getting traffic from Facebook. Let's see how it adjusts everything. As things start working for us, I'll keep updating you. Friends, I just can't step away from the computer on a Saturday. So what happened with us, right? We got a few more here. I'll just show my own conversions for now. That's exactly why today, together with the guys, we're testing 3 conversions in the offer montage. One landed in 309. The account, yes, you get it. The one that... So 2 deposits landed here, just so you understand. Which one is this? 834. So 1, 2. That was just now. They haven't been processed yet, most likely. We're waiting. They'll come through soon. We'll definitely show it there. And here as well. Yes, 309. The price here is even nicer. Now, right? We'll see how it performs. So basically, Colombia, friends, is going really well. Very profitable. We'll see how it goes next. But for now, just watch for yourselves. Everything is happening right before your eyes. June 7th, everything is in progress all weekend without stepping away. Let's check the campaigns. So what are we going to do in this segment? We're going to call our student, yes, our mentorship client, Victor. He's actually he was the first to discover Argentina his own way. Having never worked with Facebook, he started from scratch. He'll explain more soon, but first, let's check our campaigns and refresh the stats. Our first campaign, yes, is the one that had a small budget, as you remember yesterday, for Argentina. We won't be looking at other people's campaigns. We're staying within what we launched together. Here actually is Facebook. We ended up focusing on one ad set, metrics. It's actually a bit more expensive than we would have liked, but still, it's great here. We got a good conversion to deposit. We'll see how this campaign performs for us today. For what we launched together, we might even be able to increase something, even the budget. Regarding the current campaign, here we have, friends, here we have Colombia Argentina. It performed a bit worse. Well, actually, not anymore. A deposit has already come in, so overall that's great. The campaign for Argentina. 2 FTD. We had 2 ad sets catch on. You can see the metrics for yourselves. At this point, I would have already intervened. Definitely stopped the current ad set, the first one, but overall, I've left the current one running for now. As for the revenue, you can see for yourselves. So far, we're cautiously in the black. What new things have we implemented? At the start, with the working creative friends, we try not to interfere with the CBO at all. By the way, they themselves rejected all but the first one. Yes, so we try not to interfere. We only leave what has caught on after the first 24 hours. Here, ideally, we can step in and filter out the first ad set as well. Since it hasn't generated any leads at all, we'll turn it off. I'll log in from another account where I have the necessary permissions. A lot of people here are asking what this is. Socium on ZRD, friends, it's simple. Our current Socium is shared, yes, across all ad campaigns and accounts. Basically, I can access it from there, at least to monitor things like how clients from Mentorship are spending to get an overall view of what buyers are doing. Honestly, the numbers right now are astronomical. If I talk about Argentina, well, I can't reveal our table, but in general, regarding Argentina, right now it's about 6,000 in spend and 11,000 in revenue. So basically that's almost a 100% ROI overall. That's Argentina. There's some spend there, but not much. So overall, it's a good rate. Right now, you can maintain around 90%. This is about the claim that FB is dead, and honestly, I wouldn't listen to all that nonsense. And our company here with Colombia is small, yes, the one that was on the starter budget. Overall, it's been performing according to these metrics so far. There's really no point in interfering here either, except maybe with the second ad set. Maybe the second ad set could also be paused, but for now we're keeping everything running. And the other account, where we accidentally set it to $111. Look at how it picked up speed. So overall, the 20 here went through correctly. I was just chatting about the metrics right now. Maybe they want to take a screenshot in the chat while you're here. We'll take a look now. Let's take a screenshot. I'll just quickly jump into the chat for a second so I don't expose all of Telegram. And here we'll show you. Many people ask, what screenshots are these? Who among you friends still hasn't subscribed to our Telegram? It's practically arbitrage. The link is in the description. We also have a chat, so I recommend joining. Let's even show you two more. Yes, the ones we have running with Alex, and I think with him as well. Now we'll join the call, where his office was just wonderful, a beautiful office. Just a second, friends, and we'll do it all together with you right now, so you'll see exactly how it happens. Sometimes you can see the workflow, revenue up to 180, response 480, revenue for this company. Okay, everything's been posted, right? Also, I'd like to take a look, yes, so regarding Argentina with the test funnel. In total, we got 253 FTDs, yes, out of 1,000 registrations, so about 1 to 5. Overall, it's holding steady. Actually, there are still a number of things here that aren't quite reaching, and for Argentina as well. The same Joker approach, friends, I'd like to point out. Yes, here we're improving quality, increasing the average check, and now we're going to expand the rate even further. And the cap, in general, the metrics are about like this. Here, I would actually recommend focusing attention. And for the next step, let's go ahead and do it like this as well. Okay, now let's call friends, let's connect with Victor. Now I'll ping his chat too, let's do that. Yes, here's Victor, now we'll send him a Zoom link. Overall, the guy's running traffic to Argentina. Both offers, Cassonga and SpinBar, are fully under our mentorship. So that's it, friends. You can see with your own eyes how things are taking off for them. Overall, if anyone wants to join our mentorship, friends, the link is in the description. Soon we'll also be launching mentorship for TikTok for those who are interested. Overall, if you're a team, if you're having any problems with launches, scaling, setting up funnels, or if you just want to adjust your traffic flows in general, or maybe you're just a beginner who wants to get into arbitrage and learn how to make money from it, the link is in the description, friends, come join us. We train webmasters for our affiliate program. We bring webmasters onto our own team through our mentorship product. And in general, people actually get hired into other teams through us. That's why we also help with job placement afterwards. Overall, our product is specifically aimed at these goals. As for the price, we also plan to raise it soon. So for now, during June and July, you can still join us. The contact information is in the description. Many people have written to me. I'll be catching up on messages on Monday, friends, since I can't get to them over the weekend. I just don't have time to reply to all these messages. That's why we're connecting you with Victor now. And we'll go over his speech with you. Pick a specific period to look at, for example. Today is our 7th new day. Do it for this one, for some interval. From which point did the company start? Well, let it be the maximum, that's fine. So, generally speaking. By the way, where's your Argentina, the one that got poured into SpinBar, remember? Here it is. I see 65 auto dashes there. Overall, what are your impressions, aside from SpinBar and this Cassonga? Which of the offers generally converts better? Now that at least the deposits for Cassonga have come in, what can you say? So after all, which of the offers is performing better? Basically, just to give the audience some feedback as well. An offer is evaluated by its conversion from install to registration. Makes sense, and from registration to deposit. By the way, maybe we could do something together. We could do it actually, in Acpro. There the statistics are more transparent. You can drill down and look at the stats by offer, check your campaign's stats, and compare offers in the reports.
So that's the picture we have.
Cassonga is at 42 by the metrics. Click to registration is 12.78, and SpinBar is 12.82. By the way, that's pretty much the same, give or take. Click to deposit, even though Cassonga is higher, is 3.61. Registration to deposit is 28, a bit higher, but the payout on SpinBar is several times higher than on Cassonga. Well, I think this slightly higher conversion rate doesn't really justify itself. Actually, what I mean is that SpinBar seems to have better metrics in any case.
But here you also need to look at the KPIs and the quality of the traffic.
That too.
Because SpinBar, even though it consistently performs quite well in terms of conversion and payout, they also have a specific set of strict standards and requirements for the overall quality of the traffic provided. So you need to take that into account as well.
Yeah, cool. Nice. That's a good point. It's great that you're already analyzing everything correctly and thinking the right way on your own. Let's keep doing it that way. Let's point out for everyone that, in reality, you shouldn't choose an offer based on the payout rate. You know, that's one of the most legendary things, and I'll tell you about it too while we're at it. A legendary example. Poland, probably about 4 years ago. Verda, the offer. The base payout rate was set. You start from scratch, 180, and there was another offer. I can't remember the name. It was from some guys. They were Chilean partners, Advertisers. They're still around now. The payout rate differed by 90. It was twice as much. And this offer with a 90 per deposit. So basically, you earned more on the margin with it, and it performed better in deposits than the 180 offer. And everyone was chasing after it, grabbing those Verda offers, taking them, maxing out the caps, while we quietly... Here we were pouring traffic at 90, and it always had a higher margin. This offer is great for comparison. If the cap runs out but the funnel still works, split test to see results. Check the dashboard analysis to see performance, from click to registration, click to deposit, and the registration to deposit ratio. In reality, as you can see, it's more or less the same. For now, Song, there are fewer requirements. For traffic quality, as you correctly pointed out regarding SpinBar, yes, they're a bit more meticulous, but still, it's possible there. Right now we have certain agreements in place, and in principle we can run traffic there. And Spinarium, did you also try it? Did you run traffic there? But I see it's just plain troublesome.
Yeah, with Spinarium it turned out everything was much worse. Those were actually the very first launches, when we changed the geo and switched to, accordingly, Argentina. So we set everything up, launched everything. So what did we end up with? It turned out that at first glance, the offer itself seemed good, visually and in other aspects. But yes, the numbers speak for themselves. Our deposits weren't doing that well, and the same goes for registrations. And that's exactly when we switched the offer to SpinBar, which performed really well. So in fact, we had 3 offers running in Argentina. Out of those, 2 worked more or less fine.
Well, look, if Cassonga is generally working now, everything is tracking correctly through PB, then yes, basically you could even scale it up, actually. I'm just noticing this with you now, because with Cassonga, yeah, not many people were running it on our side. Some guys here tried it a little, but everyone was focused on SpinBar, because we were working on balancing the advertisers' ROI in terms of quality. We even allowed ourselves to run some campaigns at around break-even, just to, well, increase the cap, you know. But now, looking at it, I see that maybe we should pay attention to Argentina. It doesn't seem any worse than anything else. Yeah.
With SpinBar, maybe the numbers could have been even higher on your account. But it turns out that this week we stopped the campaigns there that were performing well. Also because of quality, since we needed to, let's say, rebuild the company funnels there to improve quality. Otherwise, the numbers here would have been much higher, but the issue is that we would have just hit the cap. They would have said, that's it, goodbye.
That's the current reality. Yes, a lot of people are facing this. That's standard practice. Here, of course, you need to work through the funnel more thoroughly, keep getting feedback from advertisers, so you don't end up in an awkward situation where, at the moment, everything looks good in terms of numbers, but then the advertiser just puts everything on hold and doesn't pay anything. Okay? Overall, what kind of algorithm have you developed? Regarding work, so how is the workflow structured for the audience? Let's talk about what to pay attention to, how to build the funnel from your perspective. I mean, I'm saying this so we have an opinion from your side as well. Basically, how has your algorithm developed at this point?
Well, listen, the first thing I realized is that you absolutely have to test everything. That's a must. You should always have split tests, whether it's for the offer, the landing page, the creatives, the campaigns, or the approaches. Yes, even something as basic as the ad accounts. And yes, the most important thing is with the ad accounts and the audience, that's super important. Because even if you take, for example, some creative that performs incredibly well for one person and you launch it yourself, the exact same creative on one or two ad accounts, and for you, it just simply doesn't work at all. It could be because of the ad account, the audience, or a lot of other factors. And that's really the most important thing. Then the most important thing is the offer. I would also say that you need to include all of this from the very start. Ideally, you should have at least 2 offers. 3 is probably best, I think. At the initial stage, you should also look at the conversions to see how everything is performing for you. As for creatives are also a very important part. I would say that, in my personal opinion, this is probably about 80% of all the work, because everything starts with the creative. It's your message after all. And if, for example, in your creative, you write something like lots of bonuses without a deposit, plenty of free spins, and so on, then yes, you'll get good clicks and good installs. Yes, but your deposits or the number of deposits will drop accordingly. You also need to think about quality. Try to, at the very least, check your creatives from the start, what you're writing in them. Agreed. What else?
Is there like that? There's something about creatives here. Did you collect the funnel data yourself, or was it all done using a spy tool? In terms of that kind of cool aspect, we actually used a spy service. It's relevant right now in the current times. So it really is needed as a tool.
Yes, that's a very good question. We actually ran into this ourselves just this week. Yes, you can definitely look at creatives. That's 100%. For example, if you're entering a new GEO, say Argentina, you can look at creatives, analyze 100 to 150 pages, use a spy tool properly, take a broad look at what creatives are being used there, and so on. Other guys are making it work. But as it turned out, when you launch these creatives, they might work and convert for you, or they might not. In other words, the creatives that end up there are often already burned out. Nikita and I calculated that, for example, we took the audience we have in Argentina, right, and figured out roughly how much you can pour in from 10 to 15 accounts per creative, even just within a day. That's it. And this creative burns out there in 2 to 3 weeks if you don't refresh it in any way. So accordingly, it will be shown to the entire audience, after which it will end up in a spy tool, and then other guys will pick it up from there. That's it. By the way, what's funny about Argentina is that there are a lot of creatives, identical ones, so to speak, running there. UGC creative. And these creatives, they've been running for a long time already, since February, I think, or maybe even since January, these creatives or UGC ones. And accordingly, they're not performing well. No matter how you try to refresh them or not, they're done. So
basically, you already need to change things up, both in terms of interpretation, overall visualization, and the approach itself. In other words, you need to test new hypotheses, try different things, and not get stuck on just one approach. It's just that, frankly, a lot of people get disappointed. For example, they grabbed some Carrier Spy, even if it was active for a while. They ran it for a few days, spent money on it, and then say nothing works. That's exactly what someone in the chat just said. He wrote that he's testing Colombia. This guy, yeah, and everything is expensive, so basically it's not working out. Actually, there was another guy there too. He replied to him saying, listen, I have Argentina. Oh, Colombia has excellent conversion. We also shared some screenshots showing that Colombia is performing well, but basically, yes, you definitely need to test a lot of creatives. And when you find your reference, yeah, it doesn't mean you just forget about everything else. In any case, you should still be testing some small creatives in parallel, adding fresh ones and keeping an eye on things. At the moment when your main setup starts to catch on and shows some positive results, you still don't stop testing creatives, so that your bundle continues to work with this offer.
Yeah, so you find your own references, even if, say, at first you're using spy tools or creatives from others. You found them, and that's really just when the work begins, because you need to make your own creatives, either order them from a designer or create them within your own team. And that's exactly when the real work starts, because to really skim the cream off the offer, so to speak, you can only do that with your own creative. If you use someone else's creatives, your conversion rate will be much worse, several times over. As for Argentina, overall, the GEO is really great. So the conversion is good. And overall, well, for me, this was actually the second GEO where I launched campaigns. Considering that I'm a beginner, I got my numbers, but the GEO is actually quite demanding. Of course, it also depends on the offer, the KPIs, and the quality, but the GEO itself is demanding when it comes to creatives. To be honest, we didn't test static creatives or see how they perform, but let's say protective approaches work well there. And Nikita and I discussed these creatives. They require a pretty good understanding, let's say, and overall quality in general. I think these creatives are, well, the best of them, top-notch in terms of quality, detail, and so on.
That's right, because now even the metrics have started to even out significantly, and they're already asking us, not exactly demanding, but requesting a higher volume of traffic. So yes, for Argentina, we're definitely taking this direction now, and we're going to ramp things up here. Also, just to add for the audience, right now Mexico, Chile, and Peru are geos that are close to Argentina, let's say, and you can also take a similar approach with them and work with them. They're more or less similar, not in terms of people's stereotypes, but specifically in terms of strategies. Basically, the same IGCs are used there, and there are also a number of the same offers there. Even SpinBar is represented there as well. And Cassonga is also represented. There are also a couple more products, but we won't name them. So in general, there are places to launch ads that will actually bring you profit. In fact, I probably wouldn't go into Europe right now, again, just for the audience to know. Europe is currently as overheated as it gets. And the products fluctuate a lot in terms of conversion, but they also require a bigger budget. Here, in fact, you can focus on good ROIs, on the slots approach, where you'll have win-win situations with the advertiser. There won't be any restrictions anywhere, and you can also get some really good numbers for your own profit. Okay, a couple more words, just to add, about launch methods. What have you noticed for yourself? What works more effectively? How does it perform? So, what way of launching feels more comfortable for you right now?
More comfortable to launch. About the methods, I need to think. I know for sure that you need to have, if you're really running tests, then accordingly you need to have several ad accounts, a larger audience sample, so that you can in turn filter out the part where the audience is definitely not right or where the CPM is high. In general, we actually ran into this when we launched on Spinarium for the first time. The same thing happened. Everything was set up, everything was good. We launched the creatives, launched the campaigns, but the CPM was simply high. This is exactly, there was also a question in the chat about what the difference is there. What does the CPM matter if you're getting conversions overall? There are zero questions here. Yes, you can work with a high CPM if everything is working well for you, if it's really the audience that brings you deposits. But during our tests, the CPM ended up being around $300 to $350. Accordingly, yes, I don't really know what exactly caused this, but I think it was related to the ad accounts and also to the creatives. Also in
the run-up to the World Cup, many event-driven campaigns are launched for betting ahead of the championship. That's what I mean. And because of that, the auction could fluctuate as well. So there are also these kinds of factors. Ahead of the tournament, many bookmakers, especially local ones, were launching campaigns, especially since Argentina is a country that loves football. Because of certain stars, Messi for example, and a number of other well-known, more veteran footballers. Based on this, yes, the auction there was also overheating, and now there will be some ups and downs, but when your company is already, in principle, established, what's the advantage here again? When a company is already established, it operates for the long term. Essentially, it will be stabilized. But for the guys who are launching new companies now, they might really feel this themselves. I'm just saying that, again, if your company had, say, 60 FTDs and so on, you can actually adjust it. By adjust, I mean both in terms of targeting, you can upload new creatives to existing ad sets. So, where's the first campaign? Let's just dive inside. And into this ad group, for example, yes, you can actually revive this ad set, turn it back on, and upload fresh creatives inside. Yes, there are different interpretations again, both in terms of quality, say, being more meticulous, and accordingly, you can drill down into the targeting inside. But since you have, first of all, you've already collected more than 50 FTDs within a single ad set, which means it has completed the learning phase and accordingly will perform more stably, I definitely wouldn't abandon this campaign. I would actually try to revive it by manually uploading, diving into this ad set, and creating a new ad with new references to Rio. Within the group itself, yes, you can change the visuals for the target audience somewhere, or you can make a duplicate test ad right in this campaign, or move it to a new one. And this will also bear fruit, because once again, as I said, it has already been optimized, it already has good metrics, and overall it will continue to perform well. Plus, you will be able to see within the creative that you had inside how it performed and delivered results, and whether the newly uploaded ad will do even better. Will it deliver even better results? In other words, OHA itself should redirect to a more engaging creative. This is algorithmic, this is the current reality. And in this way, you can essentially compare fresh visuals and see whether new references for the creative will perform better or not. So this is also one of the recommendations. This really works right now. You should actually hold on to such campaigns, don't drop them, and make sure they work in the long run.
Yes, I generally agree, but there's also the point that this is really, really broad. And accordingly, I think it's no secret that men redep well, while women redep not as well. And accordingly...
And as for the breakdown, let's take a look at this campaign. Gender and age. Select age and gender right away. Next. No, there's just one item there. Age and gender. We'll also see here that in fact it's a bit broader. Women deposited at the start. Women, older men, but again, women's deposits prevailed. Based on this, yes, we had to pause something here for a moment. And now, well, yes, let's say this for the audience as well. Overall, if you want to deliver quality, then at first you can go broad when you enter a geo, test things out, see what works. But later, it's worth narrowing your targeting. Targeting M25 plus is basically the direction that actually works right now.
Yes, that's also an important point, by the way. We were running campaigns for ages 18 to 65 here. But again, that's because I personally didn't have any restrictions there, let's say, regarding KPIs and so on. These were the first campaigns, the first campaign duplications. So when we started facing issues with quality, we began cutting off audiences that were performing poorly. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Overall, your brief feedback on the interaction on the work.
So Facebook works, arbitrage works. Nothing has died because of bans. I've also encountered bans. We've had bans here too, both for accounts and campaigns, everything. But that's probably a question about spending. I think it's because there were bans, for example, but it didn't really affect things much. And overall, there were always accounts that were up and running. I think it's definitely not worth considering this a problem because it's quite a systematic process. In general, you can jump in with some spy creative, run some offer, get your FTDs, but that's only for a short period. After that, accordingly, you need to have a comprehensive approach. If you want to achieve good numbers, good ROI, then it really is systematic work every single day. And
the main thing is these two words, nonstop, are just essential because many people, again, as you correctly pointed out, set up these short-term, let's call them runs. They run some traffic and then at some point things start to cool off and that's when they begin to get disappointed. But of course, it's important to note here that you shouldn't just think about yourself, yes, just looking at your own numbers. You also need to get timely feedback from the advertiser, not later, when you've already run the whole campaign. Like, let's check the quality now. If you get corrected in the moment, so to speak, if someone tells you like, hey buddy, just a bit, your traffic is a bit weak, let's make some adjustments. And accordingly, this is also where you'll be evaluated as an expert. What do you think? Not just thinking about your own pocket, but also making sure it's a win-win situation for the product as well. And here, basically all the conditions will be expanded for you and you'll be able to run long-term campaigns. And you also segment for yourself that core audience, which brings good returns, and that pool of approaches which, once again, I'll repeat it for the 100th time, provides good profitability for the advertiser. And that's when you get a win-win situation. Long-term relationships, ongoing campaigns, the ability to establish yourself in one geo, plus the products. New ones also open up and appear there, so if one of them starts to underperform a bit, you have options in the moment. In terms of conversion, you can confidently add a split to the current campaign and monitor it. If it really performs better, for example, compared to Cassonga, even if just a little, and it has a simpler KPI, then you can switch to it and see how it goes.
Yes, I completely agree. And overall, I don't really understand the guys who, as you said, run minimum caps on an offer with poor quality and then go chasing after other advertisers. But overall, that's actually a bad thing. From the standpoint that, first of all, you're losing out on earnings. If you had worked with the advertiser for a long time, you would have better conditions. You'd have higher caps too, and bigger payouts as well. Plus, you could see how your creatives, audiences, approaches, and so on perform over the course of a month or more, which is actually the most interesting part instead of just jumping into a niche with one creative, running the minimum cap, and moving on. I think that actually launching campaigns is just a percentage of the work, only about 5 to 10% of success. And even then, it's pretty basic. You just need to check the right boxes, set up the settings correctly, and that's basically it. And considering that all of this is pretty much automated, there's not a ton of value in it. No.
So accordingly?
That's exactly what happened during the mentorship. Overall, I'm really satisfied. First of all, this isn't staged. We're not actors. Everyone here is real. I even wrote to the guys in the chat answering some of their questions. I haven't been in the field that long, but I'm already noticing some of the questions people are asking. And overall, I'm starting to get a sense of the general level, more or less, after some of the questions. Accordingly, there are a lot of nuances, both in traffic running and in arbitration itself. Starting from creatives all the way to the offer and split testing. Honestly, they gave us a ton of information. But of course, there's still a lot I need to work on myself. Creatives and approaches, and basically continuing to develop my skills. We had a lot of calls with Nikita, where we went through everything in detail, really thoroughly. Overall, I'm surprised by the quality of the training. We also had our own issues at the beginning, but overall, we managed to resolve everything successfully, and we started seeing good numbers. Let's put it this way, for a beginner.
Yeah, as they say, there's even more to come.
Regarding this GEO, specifically LATAM and Professional Argentina, they're definitely worth working with, but as both Spica and overall experience show, guys, make your own creatives. So make your own creatives, work on the quality, work on the creatives themselves and their message. This GEO is really awesome, but it requires a very good approach to creatives. Also, probably the main point, just to add at the end, is that I was also watching the chat. For example, guys might write about some negative things like us being actors and so on. Even from my own experience, I understand that if a person is generally working and gets a lot of deposits throughout the day, then accordingly, you should also have a lot of campaigns running. I've even noticed myself that you simply don't have time to write in chats, comment on something, or for example, hate on others. And even simply if a person is getting a lot of deposits and so on, during the day, he'll simply see in a screenshot that, for example, as a beginner, I have small numbers and overall he'll realize I'm a newbie. But there's nothing special about that and he'll just move on with his work. So yes, guys, please be kind.
Vitya, thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. I'll message you a bit later. Now, while Victor has disconnected, I just wanted to show the account where our guys, and by the way, these are from the mentorship program, friends are working. Take a look at that one, or, well, I won't specify, maybe May or something. I don't really remember what period it was, to be honest. The guys here are testing things out, trying different approaches. But really, the point is this. 4,358 in revenue, yes, 3,200 profit. Guys, well, expenses, yes, 4,300 profit. Net, yes, the guys made that much. 1,100. So friends, it turns out the video is once again packed, yes, but in general, you love numbers, you love all of this. We'll also take a look with Alex before the weddings, and we also got something from Fedeshka. Alright, that's fine. We'll take his recommendations on push notifications, no matter how much you might complain right now. We'll probably put that in a separate video after all. Because once again, this one turned out to be purely about the numbers, just the way you like it, with figures, results, profits, and margins. Alright, let's go over to Alex now and hear what he has to say. He's also a client of our mentorship program. Let me give you a little sneak peek of how things are going overall. He's getting a steady stream of deposits and conversions, but anyway, we won't be showing all of that. So he's also our client. So now we're actually about to call him. Hello again, right? For the audience as well.
Hello, hello. So...
What are you running today? I'm running Argentina, yeah, and Colombia, basically LATAM.
And Colombia?
Yeah, the one everyone talks about. Overall, what are your observations? Actually, let's talk about Latin America in general. What can you say about this GEO?
Well, right now it's performing pretty well overall. The conversion seems to be there for now. Sometimes it performs poorly, sometimes well. Overall, there are some solid sets you can work with and build from.
Okay. Let's start by quickly going through the process and do a sample selection of creatives. So for example, if the audience wants to enter these geos, basically what should they focus on when searching for creatives? Yes, so in general, where did you select your creatives from? What did you use? And also a certain direction, meaning the specific format of approaches. So again, there are no crumbs being poured here. Yes, judging by the name. No, it's not visible. Well, basically everyone already knows that Joker is performing on LATAM right now. So specifically in terms of approaches, what more or less works there? And how do you find them?
Well, maybe so. All the accounts that are here, all the campaigns, all the creatives here are from SPY. So there are no original creatives here, no creatives from AI. All the creatives are from SPY. To find a converting creative, you don't even really need Tiver for that. If you have the skills and understanding, you can get by with just the library. Tiver, for the most part, is only needed if, for example, you want to take a domain from the library and start selling by link, by bank, by pixel, and so on, to keep finding more and more creatives. But overall, the library is enough. You can even do without Tiver.
So, to briefly sum it up, basically creatives from spy tools are more or less still working, right?
Yes, because there are creatives that a lot of people are running traffic to, and you can see that they are converting.
Yeah. All right. What should you pay attention to when searching if you start by looking through the library? Obviously, in any case, both of these tools, Tiver and the library, complement each other when it comes to different search approaches. But overall, when you're choosing and evaluating new creatives, what specific performance metrics or important factors should you really be focusing on?
Generally speaking, what else is there?
Well, just let's say as a basic search algorithm, without any special nuances. Of course, everyone has their own methods. We won't be sharing everything with the audience here, obviously, but just a basic algorithm. So, what's the best way to look and search? To build up your visual experience and at least find some kind of hook?
Well, as I mentioned in the previous video about Colombia, these are the basic metrics I use to search. For example, we take the currency, type Colombia into the search. You can enter the name of the slot. You can also type bonus in the local language. Free spins still work there too. In general, that's enough to find a cryo.
Okay. Well, and in Tiver, you can dig deeper by link and by pixel ID as well. Let's say you can take a more in-depth look at this approach. All right. Regarding splits, PWA's designs, does it even make sense to do this now or not?
Yes, I had that in split. Always 2 to 3 PWAs. But there, for example, I had 4, I think, and I removed 2. So now I have 2 left. And the metrics are absolutely the same for all of them. Identical. Identical from rec 2 dep. In general, I have 2 inserted everywhere.
Okay. Well, in general, yes. So the design, visuals, content for the click, who installs, it basically has an impact, right? So it's still worth testing different options, checking things out.
Honestly, I don't know, but I also just take stuff from Spy, just copy the designs, make minimal improvements to the quality, just a little bit. I remove something, whatever is there. Like there's a lot, when they do it with AI, for example, with a neural network, there's a lot of visuals. You can also upload it to the AI and tell it to remove the unnecessary visuals.
Okay, that's it. Great. Regarding the launches themselves, overall, how do you feel more comfortable launching now? I mean, what have you figured out for yourself? Specifically, the methodology for launching itself.
Well, it primarily depends on the approach. That is, I don't put 3 different approaches into one campaign. For example, there's a news format, there are slots, and then there's some other format. Let's say there's a news format, and we have 3 creatives, 4 creatives. You can launch 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So in total, that's 4 creatives. You also need to launch 1, 1, 4. It's also very important to launch across multiple accounts because each account performs differently.
Exactly. I'll add a few words here because the previous colleague also pointed this out. Actually, that's a great observation, and it's good that you notice it yourself as well. In reality, yes, you always need a pool of accounts because very often people get stuck, let's put it mildly, on a single account trying all sorts of things when the problem was simply with the account itself, not with the approach, not with the creative, and not with the overall setup. And yes, you always need that. Testing different accounts? Yes, go ahead, continue. That's about your observation. So, you're saying you had several accounts?
Yes, right now I have 6 accounts, 2. No, actually, I think even one of them is completely dead. Let me see. Maybe I can even find it now. This account here, it's dead. It performs very poorly. You can even see here the average cost per lead. This account is relatively good. So this one is really, really dead. No matter how much I launch on it, somehow
It just doesn't
catch on.
All right, great. That's a good observation because we'll make a note of it, right? So an account is not just an account in reality. They're different. All right. And in terms of some kind of filtering, so how do you filter your campaigns? How do you analyze them at the start?
In general, I launch, let's say, 1.2.2 or 1.1.2, 1.1.5. I let it run for about 2 to 3 hours. Well, for example, I set a delay for about 2 hours for 1400. It only starts running properly around 6 or 7 in the evening. First of all, I pay attention to the clicks, That is, if the clicks are coming in at least at a good price, then you can leave it running. If there are no clicks and I see the price is skyrocketing, I turn it off right away. It's better not to let it run. You can let it run only in those segments where there are deposits. So you can turn a blind eye to registrations or installed price. If there are deposits coming in at a good price, everything's fine.
You can, but don't look at the other metrics.
You can.
Okay, and then briefly about scaling. How are you handling it overall right now? What more or less works for you?
There are different ways to scale. Everyone has their own approach. For me, it's mainly, let's say, 1221, 31, 151. Based on this, we look for good hooks that catch on in deposits, and I start scaling when there are already 2 or 3. You can take the duplicate to manual and then manually set it at 70% of the total CPA payout. For example, 121. You need to set a different manual bid price for each ad set. And that's basically how I scale up. You can crank up the budgets by 10 times because the manual bid won't overspend too much. Only if, for example, let's say we have 1-2-1 and we have it in the ad set. The CPA there has already gone up while the second ad set hasn't spent anything. If we turn off the first one, then the second one will turbo spend, turbo will catch it.
I agree.
Yeah, it's better not to do that.
Great, that's a wonderful observation. Good. Overall, regarding both geos, what's your general conclusion? Argentina and Colombia. So, in general, is it possible to work with them? Is it worth paying attention to these geos right now? Given the current situation, unlike the overheated Tier 1 countries in Europe, what do you think overall? So how do you personally feel about Argentina and Colombia right now?
Overall, as I've heard, these geos are already very overheated. There's a lot going on. A lot of traffic, especially for Joker, has already been poured in. It's tough right now, but it's still possible to get something out of it.
Okay. So yeah, let's give us your final thought for the audience one more time. In short, overall, you can work with them. The main thing, again, is to keep testing and not just use templates. Basically, as you just mentioned, you can pull results if you search thoroughly in the library and in spy tools overall. And now, your final speech. The main thing there is
to launch as many campaigns as possible, to get as many accounts working as you can. Well, at least from 5 accounts. And you don't need to launch just a few there. Not 2 or 5 campaigns a day, but more like 25 or 30. About 20 might fail, but 10 of them will be rock solid, really good. You need to keep testing them every day because now campaigns don't last long. That's just how it is these days.
then
Launch as many as possible every day. That is,
keep adding volume. Basically, yes, and within the day work as thoroughly as possible with these campaigns. Okay. Damn, thank you. Basically, you gave the most detailed answers possible. I think the guys will even write it down point by point, make notes, and highlight things for themselves. And yes, the main thing, again, don't just use templates, work as much as possible with analytics, go through things, keep launching, and yes, probably have a pool of accounts. That's if we sum everything up in general. And of course, after that, friends, you should try to take these creatives. In principle, that's what we're going to do next. Take these creatives, work with designers, visualize, modify, upgrade them, and so on, which is what we'll start doing on Monday. Okay, thank you for your time then. Friends, overall, I think this video has been extremely useful for you. Did we pack it with enough value here? Pretty dense. The only thing is, as always, we didn't manage to fit in the push notifications, which is a bit disappointing. We just couldn't fit them in here. I'll definitely record a separate video about push notifications for you, since there's more I'd like to add. Basically, to profit on Facebook right now, you need to work as diversely as possible and keep launching campaigns. It's important. Keep testing creatives, it's important. Keep testing PWAs, keep working with a pool of visuals, and then basically you'll be able to compare and analyze, and you'll quickly find what works for you. That very bundle, that very hook, which you'll be able to scale. Also, guys, colleagues, yes, from the mentorship program who are still working with us to this day, keep testing a pool of ad accounts. Because not all ad accounts are the same, as I say in my presentations. Everywhere, it's all about the ad account. Sometimes an ad account just isn't effective on its own. Even if you launch the same bundle several times, try different things, it simply won't work for you. That's why, friends, if you want to join our mentorship program, the link is in the description. All the services we provide, from Set Pro to Vision and so on, are there as well. All the links are in the description. Please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. You're helping us with the YouTube algorithm and helping to promote our content. Also, be sure to join our Telegram chat and channel. There's a lot of useful content there. Colleagues and our subscribers often give advice and tips on how to launch things correctly. In short, you definitely need to be a part of it. If you're looking for quality offers, like those in LATAM, come join us at Monetary Club. Our affiliate program will help you find a great high payout offer, and let me give you a little announcement. Soon we'll be launching mentorship for TikTok, that's the first thing. And secondly, we'll also be rolling out some top-tier offers for Turkey, so stay tuned, friends.